When you think of the NHL's most feared goal scorers, names jump off the page, like Matthews, Ovechkin, McKinnon, and Hyman?
And there it is, Zach Hyman, his 50th of the year.
It's true. In March of 2024, Edmonton Oilers forward Zach Hyman scored his 50th goal of the season, becoming the third oldest player in league history to reach that plateau for the first time.
One of the best signings in Edmonton Oiler history.
So how did a kid overlooked almost his entire life go from a fourth-line grinder to one of the most feared goal scorers in the NHL? Let's take a look as we put the career of Zach Hyman into focus. Zach Hyman's rise to stardom is a story of being overlooked, not because he was an underdog. It was quite the opposite. He was one of 5 brothers who grew up in the affluent neighborhood of Forest Hill in Toronto, Ontario. Hyman played his minor hockey in the GTHL. It was easy to overlook him on teams with more hyped prospects like Jeff Skinner, Tyler Toffoli, and Tyler Seguin. Further complicating his minor hockey experience was the notion he was a privileged son. His dad, Stuart Hyman, was a multimillionaire real estate developer known in hockey circles as someone who reportedly took sole or partial ownership of more than 90 minor hockey organizations at one time, allowing his sons, including Zach, to play on teams with the best players and coaches. It would be easy to conclude that Zach was just another silver spoon kid, but that just wasn't the full story. Hyman just worked hard at everything he did. Playing for the Hamilton Junior Red Wings of the OJHL, his father's team, he tallied 75 points in 49 games in his draft year. However, when it came to the 2010 NHL draft, Hyman again was overlooked, dropping out of the NHL's top 210 ranking after reaching 175 in the midterm rankings. At the time, the late E.J. McGuire, the NHL Central Scouting Bureau Director, said, "We think there were 210 other skaters that have a better chance of being an NHL player than Zach Hyman." Still, the Florida Panthers took a flyer on him, using their 5th round selection, 123rd overall, to draft the 6-foot center in June of 2010. And Hyman just kept working hard, posting 102 points in his final junior season and was named the top Junior A player in the country. Hyman then accepted a scholarship to the University of Michigan to play under legendary coach Red Berenson, starting in the 2011-2012 season. This is where Hyman says his game changed. Before Michigan, he filled the score sheet at every level he played. In Ann Arbor, his coach wasn't impressed with his game. Berenson knew Hyman would only make the NHL by becoming an elite defensive player. He played Hyman on the 4th line for his first 2 seasons, saying of Zach, he expected it was going to be easier than it was. The good thing was, he kept bringing his work ethic every day. We opened his eyes as to how he was going to have to play without the puck. It took him a while. And by his senior year, it finally paid off. 54 points in 37 games played on the top line with Detroit prospect Dylan Larkin. In 2015, he was a finalist for the Hobey Baker Award, was Michigan's Male Athlete of the Year, and also the first men's hockey player from the Wolverines to be named a first-team academic All-American. Despite all these accolades, Hyman and the Florida Panthers could not come to terms on a contract. And in June of 2015, his rights were traded to his hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. While the spotlight in Toronto was dominated by Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, Hyman quietly plied his trade, earning the respect of his teammates and coaches. Mike Babcock said in 2017, "Hyman is a guy who gets the puck back all the time. Like Pavel Datsyuk used to tell me, I want somebody to get me the puck. He gets the puck back better than anyone." He earned the nickname Shaq Hyman, an ode to NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, because Zach had a willingness to get to the hardest area on the ice, the blue paint in the crease. For 6 seasons, Hyman excelled in Toronto. Most shorthanded goals by a rookie, most consecutive games with an assist by a rookie, 86 goals and 99 assists in 6 seasons with the Maple Leafs. But because he was the defensive glue on the top line, he got overlooked by many of his flashier, higher paid teammates. Hyman became an unrestricted free agent in the spring of 2021. Hoping to stay with his hometown team, Hyman was the victim of a salary cap crunch in Toronto. And so, on the first day of free agency in July of 2021, the Edmonton Oilers signed him to a 7-year, $38 million contract. A roll of the dice for someone labeled not an elite goal scorer.
A big-time loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He wasn't their best forward, but he was certainly their most consistent.
But since Hyman arrived in Alberta's capital, his work ethic continued to prevail.
He's the ultimate Swiss Army knife. He's fantastic on the power play. He's a great penalty killer. And 5-on-5, he's a dog at net front.
His first year, scoring a career-high 27 goals, eclipsed last season with a 36-goal campaign, culminating in this season's remarkable achievement of 54 goals.
Zach Hyman cuts backhander stop. He got the rebound and he scored.
In his short time with Edmonton, he has already matched several franchise records once held by the greatest Oiler of all time.
Hyman had his 4th hat trick of the season last night, the first Oiler with 4 in a single season since Wayne Gretzky. He also tied Gretzky's record with a 10-game home goal scoring streak.
If you compare his goal output this season to others in his draft year, he is having a season to remember and finally overlook no longer. Zach Hyman had to battle to get to this point in his career. A silver spoon kid who doesn't play like it.